Well, guys, I tried. I made it a goal this week to do a video every single day on this channel. That's kind of the goal from the beginning, was to do a daily video on TMI, and I almost made it. I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yesterday I didn't quite get there. But I thought today, something I've been thinking about doing for a while, would do a video to kind of respond to the responses from the previous videos that week. So you can say, like, this could be a Friday follow-up, if you want to call it that. Whatever, I don't know. Excuse me, still dealing with this stuff. But anyway, no, I wanted to sort of respond to some of the comments I got this week, and I did 3 videos that were vastly different, and I got vastly different responses for them. So I'll just jump into it real quick. So on Monday, I talked about my first Model 3 road trip. A few things that were pointed out. Somebody, and I don't remember the person's name, but I want to thank you for giving me a new hang-up, pointed out that this right here, this little gap right there in the, whatever that beam is, he was like, yeah, it looks like it's got a little bit of a gap there as opposed to the one on the other side. And you know what? You're right. There's a little gap there. There versus there. So thanks. That's all I can look at now. I was at home, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and somebody pointed that out, and I'm like, damn it. So I go out to my car and I'm looking at it, and sure enough, yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there. And you know, that's one of probably 6 or 7 little spots that I found on the car. When I first got it, actually, I pointed out some of them in one of those previous earlier videos. You know, it's not the end of the world for me. I wish that it wasn't there. I wish these issues didn't exist, but they do. And when it comes down to it, that's not why I bought this car. I knew full well that the earlier models of the Model 3 were going to have little things here and there in the fit and finish and whatnot. Sometimes I do step back and I see like a panel gap issue, and it kind of makes me go a little bit. But ultimately, that's not why I got the car. I didn't go to get a new car and did a search for the one with the best panel gaps, you know. That's my response to people who you know, kind of give me shit about that. People who make a point out of it. I'm always like, that's not why I bought the car. And I don't know anybody in the world that has ever gone on Auto Trader and said, you know, typed in, what car has the best gaps between the panels? You know, nobody, it's not, anyway, that doesn't affect the car at all. So anyway, but yeah, it is there, and it was a good catch, and there you go. I had somebody just this morning that I saw pointed out the whole navigate feature that I was talking about in that video that kind of gives you an idea of how much energy you have. That there is something, and I haven't even tried this yet, but he pointed it out, and I wanted to give him credit and sort of put it out there a little bit wider, that when you're navigating, there is a little energy, they call it the energy app, I guess that's what it's called, but there's a little energy function in the car that that you can hit. I would pull it up, but anyway. I'm at the gym right now, by the way. I'm finna go get jacked. I'm sure you all believe that. But anyway, you can hit this energy thing while you're navigating somewhere, and it'll actually show you how much energy you should have by the time you get there in a graphical format, which is pretty cool. Haven't had a chance to try that yet, but I thought that was neat. One other little thing that, sorry, I'm a little shaky here. One other little thing that somebody had brought up that I thought was worth sort of responding to was, he said that, I say he, may have been a she, I don't know, but I'm going to go with he. One of his concerns about being in a battery car or an electric car is that if you were, say, stuck in a traffic jam and you were running out of juice and there wasn't a charging station close by, that would really, that would be a bad situation. And some other people already responded to this with basically the same thing I'm about to say, which is that that's actually, I believe, an advantage of battery electric cars, is that if you're sitting idle in a traffic jam or whatever, you're actually using almost no energy. Obviously, you have the AC running, and you have the stereo or whatever, and you can turn all that off. If it's an emergency, if you're in an emergency and you're desperate for all the energy you can get, you can shut all that stuff off and sit there, and you're basically using no energy whatsoever. And that's sort of one of those peak things that's different between an electric car and a gas car. Is a gas car, if you're sitting idle, I know there are some cars that sort of accommodate for this and turn off the engine or whatever, but if you're sitting at a stoplight, if you're sitting stuck in traffic, you're still burning gas while you're sitting there. That's not necessarily true for an electric car. The amount of energy you're spending goes down to not quite zero, but very close to zero. And I would also say that's one of those cases, and I get these a lot, where it's one of these things that people, when you bring up gas car or bring up electric cars, they always say, oh, but what if this happened? And I'm like, yeah, but that could happen in a gas car. You know, that same situation could happen in a gas car. You could be on fumes in a gas car, stuck in traffic. And if you're stuck in traffic, like a really bad traffic jam, you know, there could be a gas station right there. It could be 100 yards away, or meters away for you, for those who get sick whenever I say any kind of imperial unit. But anyway, there could be a gas station right there. You could be looking at it. It might as well be 100 miles away because you can't get to it because you're stuck in the car. So I think the point that was being made was, there's not a nearby supercharger you can get to when you're stuck in traffic. But if you're stuck in traffic and it's that bad, even in a gas car, even if there's a gas station right there, you're still in the same situation. Now, the retort to that, and there's a fair point here, is that, anybody can go get a gas can and fill up your car and you can get back on the road. Right now, there's not a mobile service to do that with electric, but I think someday there will be. They're already talking about Volkswagen. We talked about it in our Ludicrous Future podcast, but there's a mobile charging unit that Volkswagen is putting together that can be moved around. I don't see why that couldn't be put on a truck. And just be driven around and be able to pull over and fill somebody up in emergencies if they've gotten down to zero. I think that's something that will happen in the future, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it yet. But I think as electric cars become more common, I think we're going to start to see something like that. So anyway, those are my responses to those. So that was a pretty neutral kind of thing. On Tuesday, I covered a topic that I knew was probably going to get me some hate. I talked about the whole Patreon issue with Sargon and some of these other guys getting banned, and it's a very highly emotional issue. I made it a point to say that I totally get the other side. In fact, some people I think got annoyed that I was too disclaimery at the beginning of it, because I did take a long time to get to the point. Go figure. I never do that. But the reason why I put so many disclaimers on there was because I really wanted to get across how much I am personally split on the issue. It's kind of one of these things I think we're going to be dealing with a lot more, and it's worth talking about, because as we get more into this sort of fractured information environment that we're in, we're going to be seeing a lot more cases of well, this kind of thing. My words are failing me right now, but it's a very important and topical and timely issue that we're going to be dealing with more and more. But anyway, I wanted to say more than anything, I definitely got some people who thought I wasn't well researched on this. I don't disagree with them. There were definitely some people that had high emotions around it and expressed themselves in that way. But more than anything, I want to say, honestly, if anything, the comments that I got on that video totally reaffirmed my faith in my audience, in you guys, and in I don't know, people in general. There were a lot of people that disagreed with me, but did so very politely and tactfully and respectfully. There was a lot of disagreement without being disagreeable, and my God, we need more of that. And I want to thank all of you who commented, and especially if you commented and you disagreed with what I had to say, but most of you were just so incredibly respectful about it, and we had good discussions in the comments. And I was bracing myself for a lot of anger and a lot of hate, and I did get some, but what surprised me more than anything was how classy you guys were. And I want to thank you for that. That really warmed my heart. There's something about me that when I talk to somebody that disagrees with me politically or whatever, And we managed to actually sit down and have a conversation and discuss our different viewpoints on these things. I feel closer to that person, maybe even closer to that person than I would with somebody that I agree with. Because there's just something about not agreeing on something, but still having that decent human respect for each other that to me is like, that's the best of what we can be as people. And I saw a lot of that in my comments. So more than anything, I want to say that. There was one point, though, that kind of kept coming up, and I just wanted to respond to it real quick, not to go really deep into it or anything, but there were a lot of people that were saying, basically comparing Patreon banning people of a certain political persuasion or whatever with the civil rights movement in the 60s. The fact that, like, blacks were not allowed in certain restaurants and stuff like that. There were some people were saying, how is this any different from that? My one and only response to that is it's massively different. Discriminating against a person because of the way they were born, you know, be it race, sex, gender, sexual orientation, even religion. You can be born into religion. Discriminating against somebody based on that, based on who they are versus what they think, are two totally different things. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That's my opinion. Anyway, so Wednesday, I did something totally different. I did a video where I shot that sand sculpture thing that my sister got me, and this was funny. Okay, I've had this thing since Christmas. I've been, you know, flipping it over and watching it while I've been at my computer working and whatnot. I've had a million of these deep thoughts by Jack Handey, or shower thoughts, whatever you want to call them, come to mind, and I just kind of like started writing them down on Evernote somewhere, just like, oh. My car decided to go into easy entry mode for some reason. Hang on, get back over here. I guess my car is tired of me sitting in it. Anyway, I just kind of like wrote down notes, just these thoughts that I had while watching it, and I don't think I'm anything. I don't think the fact that I was having thoughts like that makes me special in any way. I can't imagine anybody not having thoughts like that while watching this thing. But somebody had asked if I actually had scripted that out. I didn't. I just kind of was going off of notes. I had a ton of people asking where to buy it, and saying you should put up an Amazon link or something. And the reason I didn't was because it was a gift. I don't really know where my sister got it, and I didn't really feel like going and researching it. But several people found it and put the links up on there. So if anybody wants to go buy one, go ahead. I guess if I was a little smarter, I could have put an Amazon affiliate link up there, because it sounds like a lot of people went and bought one. But you know, whatever. I didn't do that to sell items or anything. I just did it because I just thought it would be an interesting thing to put up there, and people responded really well to it. You guys had a lot of fun things to say, so that was cool. A couple people said it was really moving and that they needed to hear it, and that's nice. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just it was a deep thoughts by Jack Handey kind of thing, and anyway, you guys seem to enjoy it, and I'm happy for that. Maybe if you liked that one, I could go into more philosophical shower thoughts kind of stuff in the future. You know, we'll see. But anyway, so I just kind of wanted to thank everybody for your comments and for all that stuff. Tell me if you like this sort of thing where I respond to comments and kind of give a rundown, follow up on Fridays for the videos for that week. Like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit better now that the holidays are over about posting these things, but yeah, we'll see. So I'm gonna go in and torture my body and see if it turns into muscles and stuff. But it's Friday. I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and got a video coming on Monday, and the video following that is gonna have a nice little fun intro sketch, which I actually shot yesterday. So that's partly why I didn't get a video out yesterday, because I was working on that. But anyway, have a great weekend, guys. Love you to pieces, and I'll catch you next time. Later.